Hello everyone, and welcome to another Sunday afternoon chat. Uh, this is on a hot, smoking hot Sunday afternoon here in southern Oklahoma. I'm talking smoking hot. I'm going to try to walk in the shade and stay where I've got a little breeze coming off the lake. We got the lake back there in the background. We've got a little breeze going. It's just about the absolute perfect June day. I mean, it's absolutely incredible, except it's hot. It's a great time to be around the water. You know, if you was out there in a bass boat today, you could just jump right in, cool off, and jump back up there and start catching fish. If you're out there swimming and having fun, water skiing, whatever, it's a great time to be doing that. But I'm going to take a little walk in the woods and chat with you about what's happened this past week. Talk about my trip to Wisconsin. That was a good one. We are still on baby watch here at Twin Eagle Ranch. And I don't know. There is Milburn back there in the background heading down toward me. I guess they're going to come and walk with me in the woods. They normally do. Anytime I'm walking in the woods. They were gone just a minute ago. They were here when we got home from church. Lucy, big fat Lucy, was staying in the yard, and we've been on baby watch. Chris thought she's going to have this baby Friday. She actually spent 14 hours with her from 10 o'clock in the morning until midnight that night with Lucy in the boat building, where she had gone to what we thought was have her baby. And you know, Lucy was spent her nights in that boat building when she was a baby. We would let her out during the daytime. We would put her in there simply at night. She is a free roaming deer. And we'd put her out in there at night to keep the coyotes and mountain lions and bobcats from getting her. And there's little Milburn coming up here. He's going to go walking with me. Hi, Milburn, buddy. Hi, buddy. Where's your adopted mama? I see her back here in the back. She's going to come go walking with us, isn't it? Sure she is. He's kind of got a couple little horns growing up there. He's going to be an awfully small little buck. Yeah, he's not a champion, but he's a lover. He's a lover. And he loves me, no doubt about that. But Lucy is still keeping us expecting. I guess I could put it that way. And Chris was hoping to be able to record the baby's birth. We thought that would be kind of a neat deal to share with everybody and be able to see that happen. Somebody asked me about names. I figured out that if it's a little boy deer, a little buck, we'll name him Captain Dan from the Forrest Gump show, Captain Dan. And if it's a little girl, if it's born today, I'm going to name it Sunday. If it's not born today, I don't know what I'm just going to name it. Now I'm walking out here in some pretty heavy stuff. I need to be really careful because it's 97 degrees with a heat index well over 100. But that is a perfect temperature for rattlesnakes. So I need to be kind of careful walking out in the high grass. But I just wanted to walk down along the edge of this pocket right here in Cove and just kind of try to get where I can catch a little breeze in this extremely high heat. And but I need to be careful. Pay attention to what I'm doing so I don't run into any rattlesnakes. Looks like my deer decided they didn't want to walk down here. They're probably afraid of rattlesnakes. They're smarter than I am. Hey, by the way, you want to stick around the end of this. I want to talk about something that is really under attack here in the United States of America. We've gone through a week that is amazing here in this country. A week like I haven't seen since I was in high school and college going on in this country. And it's really, really scary. But I want to talk about something that's really under attack, that's vitally important, that we hold together in this country. And I want to talk about that at the end of today's video. And it's something that each and every one of you really need to take to heart and to make sure you do your part out there, because it may be the one thing that can hold this country together during all of this turmoil that we're going through right now. So anyway, but Wisconsin this last week. We left last Saturday. Saturday and Sunday, drove 1,100 miles. I stopped in Tulsa at our production company, Jimmy Houston Productions, and picked up Pat Turner, who runs our production company. Drove on over to Springfield, Missouri. Picked up my fishing buddy, Jeff Shaw, with O'Reilly Auto Parts. And I like to fish Jeff to death. We drove 1,100 miles, got there a couple hours before dark on Sunday evening, went out and fished, and only caught 3 bass. I did catch one on a Jimmy Houston Legend spinnerbait, about 3 pounds, another about 4. And Jeff caught a Caught a smallmouth on a spinner bait as well. But that's all we caught was 3 that evening. We fished really hard the next 2 days, and we got rained out one day, and we got stormed out, you know, thunder and lightning and rain, heavy rain. We got stormed out one day, you know, I don't know, about 2 o'clock or something, 1 o'clock, something like that. So I guess you could say I fished a day and a half, but I think we only caught 10 one day and 12 another day. We caught a lot of those fish off the bed. We was catching them on a little underspin bait, a little stump jumper from Bass Pro Shop, a little underspin crappie jig, really is what it is. That's what we caught a lot of those fish off the bed. Also caught them on a little Lucky Strike darter head jig with a swim bait on it. But we had a really good we had a really good time those 2 days, or the first 2 days, but we really didn't catch many fish. And we was fishing Sturgeon Bay, fishing out of Beach Harbor, which is a great resort there. They took good care of us. They got really good food, good people there. And John, the owner, spent a lot of time talking to us about that. And that place has been there for a long time, and they were full. I mean, they just have a great place right there on Sturgeon Bay. They even have a lot of people come there during the wintertime and ice fish. They have about 3 and 4 foot of ice on that bay in the winter. That's hard to believe, but they have about 3 and 4 foot of ice on that bay in the wintertime. And they'll have 300 or 400 ice shanties sitting out there, and they catch a lot of whitefish is what the fish they fish for mostly. Evidently, that's a good eating fish, a whitefish, I don't know. But anyway, we stayed there at Beach Harbor and had a great time. But we moved around a lot from Sturgeon Bay. We went over and fished Ephraim Bay, which is in Door County, D-O-O-R, that's right, Door County. A great county, a great tourist type area, you know, lots and lots of things to see and do there in Door County. And went over there and fished. And the third day, on Wednesday, we caught over 40 bass. We probably caught about 30 of those bass off the bed on that little swim bait and that little underspin, 1/8 ounce underspin, marabou, white marabou. Caught a few on chartreuse, but the white was much, much better. We then went out and started, and these fish were all mostly male fish, pretty much all male fish, and the biggest, you know, in the neighborhood of about 3 1/4 pounds. And we went up there to try to catch these really large smallmouth. I mean, I was hoping to catch at least a 6-pounder and hoping that just maybe somehow I could get lucky and catch a 7 or 8-pounder. That did not happen, but we went out and fished around some islands, and where I'd caught the day before, I had caught Strawberry Islands. I think they call these three little islands, Strawberry Islands. The day before I had caught, my little breezes almost totally quit, we had caught a couple of big fish over there, like 5 1/2 pounds. Those are the 2 largest bass we caught all week. And I caught one of them on a Jimmy Houston spinner bait, 8 1/2 foot water, running the bait right square up on top of the water. I mean, right square on top of the water. And the other one, Jeff caught one about 5 1/2, 5 3/4 on that swim bait, on that same swim bait that he was catching them off the bed. And so we had a really good time and a good time catching fish there. And then oh, here comes Lucy coming over here. Here's Lucy. Come here, Lucy. Come here, baby. Here's Lucy. Won't you look how fat Lucy is? See, she's hot. See her? She's hot. She's hot because it's just really hot out here. Got something bug going, you know. Look at her belly and see how hard she's breathing right there. And if you'll notice, you can see those babies, or a baby or 2 babies, kick every now and then. And she just, you know, my daughter was born on June 11th and my son June 25. So my wife was I don't want to say big and fat. I don't want to say big and fat. My wife was large during, you know, this time of the year in June and July when it's really, really hot. And back in those days, we lived in a house and didn't have any air conditioning. We sat outside. We just couldn't afford a house that had air conditioning. We had a little bitty tiny place, 2 or 3 room place we lived in, and we sat outside, and she was so miserable. And I feel that way. I feel that way about Lucy right now. Lucy has just got to be so miserable. She's breathing so hard, and they got that big belly, and yet she still loves me, and she wants to come out here and run around with me in the woods. But she's just having a tough time right now. And hopefully before the day's over, she'll have her a baby or 2, and more than likely just 1. Usually they have 1 the first time they have babies, but she's so healthy and I've been fed a lot of good stuff over the years, a lot of bad stuff too. Kind of like me, she eats a lot of good stuff, a lot of bad stuff. but she, we'll probably just have one, but I'm hoping she has two. But maybe, you know, whatever. We'll take whatever. We just want to get this over for Lucy, and we want to have another little baby deer that we can see just how he reacts, and if that baby deer tames down like Lucy, or if he stays a wild deer. You know, we had a deer one time named Honey, a doe, and she had a baby, and the little baby never tamed down. We never could ever touch that doe. But get 5 or 10 feet from her, that's about it. Never would ever let us touch it. And we're hoping it'll be a little bit better with Lucy, but we might not. It doesn't really matter. Because it will be a free roaming deer, just like these two right here. So it really won't matter, but we'll see what happens in that. But the day we caught about 40 up there, we caught about 30 of those off the bed. But one of the things that we finally did, we moved out over that sister island, and we got there and we started throwing my favorite crankbait, an American Original Deep Smoothie, larger size, in a shad type color, a white color. And with some splotches on it, a little purple, a little yellow on it. And we started catching fish. We actually caught 9 fish out there on those crankbaits, and they were all female fish, big bellies, about to explode, kind of looked like Lucy's belly. And we only didn't catch any 5-pounders. We really thought we'd catch some giants, but we did catch 3 or 4 that were in the 4 1/4, 4.5 pound range. And even the smaller ones we caught, the 2.5 pounders, would really be really fat, beautiful smallmouth that just about pull you out of the boat. One of the things about catching fish on a bed in smallmouth territory is the majority of the fish, and you're there, unless you're there when a wave comes in, you catch them when they set up on the bed. Most of them have been caught once or twice before, some of them 3 or 4 times. And they're male fish, doesn't hurt to go ahead and catch them, so it doesn't matter. You're not hurting anything as long as you throw them back. But they don't fight nearly as well as catching one that has not been caught. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. One guy made a statement up there. He said, catching one off the bed up there right now is kind of like winding in a wet sweatshirt. And that's not really the deal at all. I mean, it's not like that. It is still fun and exciting. We was using spinning rods, catching most of them, and it was not like that. But it's not really as powerful or the same as catching them on a you know, that have not been caught. And these fish, some of them have been caught, you know, at least once, but some of them 2, 3, 4 times. Lots of traffic up there, lots of people on the water, lots and lots of people on the water. It's amazing. Sturgeon Bay is so famous that people come from all over the United States. We saw people from Oklahoma, Missouri. My buddy Josh Jones came up there. My buddy Josh Jones that I fish with, that is the absolute Garmin live scope specialist. You know, I mean, he's just so good at it. And he had a tough time too. He did catch about what we caught, and he found some fish on the bed and caught those, and they were the same size. I mean, if you're fishing a fish on the bed, you just catch what's there, and those big females weren't there yet. They probably are biting really good up there right now. We left on Thursday, and so they're probably biting really good up there right now. But it was a great trip. I'd recommend Sturgeon Bay to anybody. That Beach Harbor Resort where we stayed is a great place to stay. They've got cabins, and some of the guys had the cabins rented. We stayed in actual hotel rooms that they have there. You can eat there on the place at the same time. The town of Sturgeon Bay is a good sized town. It's got a lot of businesses of all kinds in it. All the other little towns over there have got great businesses in them also. So it's just a great place. And let me tell you about something about Wisconsin. You know, Wisconsin, they're all cheeseheads up there, right? Cheese is a big deal. But that is one of the cleanest states I have ever seen. It is so clean. The people's yards are so pretty and beautiful. The businesses are so clean. And of course, with all this virus stuff, businesses are cleaner now than they used to be. And I think that's a plus that we've got out of this. But let me tell you, Wisconsin is just like everything, and the grass is so green and beautiful, and everybody keeps it mowed, and it's just a great state. I love Wisconsin, I really do. And my buddy Josh Jones stopped back at Lake Geneva, where he heard that they were catching a lot of smallmouth. They were on the bed on the way back, and he said he caught a 3.5 pounder on the first cast, never caught another fish the rest of the day. And he said there was even more people at Lake Geneva than there was at Sturgeon Bay. So anyway, and Ephraim Bay. We fished Sturgeon Bay and Ephraim Bay is the 2 bays that we fish. But it was a great trip. We had a great time. Okay, I want to take a look over here real quick. You know, look at Lucy's belly. You know, I just got to tell you. You know, the poor baby, poor girl she's just fat. You know, look at that. Her belly's big. Get off her fly. Look at that belly. It's pooching out on both sides. It's hanging down low. And I don't know, never been a midwife before. Chris and I are hoping we can get that. The flies are bothering a little bit. But she's out here walking around in 100-degree plus heat index, 97-degree regular temperature, just because she wants to be with her boss, She's not really worried about the heat. She just wants to be with me. But let's talk a little bit about what's going on in America right now. You know, I've talked to you before about my degrees in college, and one of them is political science. I'm heavily involved in politics. I try to keep it off of this YouTube channel if at all possible. But this is an American situation right here. It's not a Democrat or Republican situation. This is an American situation. And I have said ever since I was in college that Americans are no different than anyone else in the world, that we are just about that far away from anarchists. Our people are just about that far away from anarchy. We see people burning down buildings and killing people and doing things in the streets all over the world, and we think Americans are better than that. We don't do that kind of stuff. But by golly, we're that close to it. That's what we are. And this week, that close to it, many cross that line, and it's just, it's terrible. You know, there was a man killed in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, right outside of Tulsa, last night on a home invasion. It got to the point to where the law is so mistrusted or unavailable or not used that people have gotten out of where they just feel like they can break into anybody's house. And the homeowner shot one of them and killed him, and the other guy got away, but two of them broke in there. But we are so very close to losing this country from within. John Kennedy said when he was president, a famous Democrat president that we all loved, that John Kennedy said that this country will not fall from without. This country will fall from within. I've mentioned it before. We've got the longest standing form of government, and certainly the longest standing democracy ever, but the longest freestanding form of standing government since the Ming Dynasty. I mean, not many countries last, what would it be, 244 years? 244 years. And I thought that I would see America fall in our lifetime. Certainly wasn't looking forward to that, but I thought I might see it happen. And then as I got older, I thought, well, that's one thing. I'm not going to see America fall in my lifetime. I'm going to enjoy this great country as long as I live. But I might see it fall in my lifetime, and it might fall from within. And we are on the verge. We're on the verge of civil war in this country right now. And there are people that are not, they're not protesting somebody's death, or they're not worried about police brutality, or they're not doing anything, because if you look at the facts and figures, you know, there are bad cops, just like there's bad fishermen out there and bad everything else. But bad preachers, there's bad CEO presidents, there's bad people running Walmart stores, there's some bad people everywhere. Not 10 or 15%, like have been said, but there's a very small percentage that are just simply bad people. But you know, the statistics prove it, that, you know, the police do an extremely good job, and we need to be supporting them, not defunding them. But if the other side wins and they end up defunding police departments, and we end up where we don't have police protection, we don't have police in our cities, in our countries, in our counties, in our states, this country will turn into anarchy within perhaps minutes, certainly hours and days. And you'll have to fight for the bed that you sleep in. You'll have to fight for the property that you live in. You'll have to fight for your meals. You'll have to fight. You may be called on to kill someone to protect your very home where your wife and kids live. And one of the things that I've noticed during this whole movement that's going on, that's viciously under attack, and we know they've been attacking Christianity. We know they've been attacking churches. It's not been legal to go to funerals. So many people have been waiting to bury their loved ones because funerals were not allowed. And yet, you know, the man that was killed at this, all of this has started over. They've had funerals with thousands of people in several different states for that individual, while people are waiting to bury their family members because they won't allow them to have a funeral. We've had a country that was shut down because of a virus, yet we have those same governors and politicians and mayors that would not let you open your business, would not let you go get a haircut, would not let you go to your church and worship, that are now arm in arm walking down the street with thousands and thousands of protesters. And you know, I grew up in the 60s, man. I was a Vietnam War era kid, you know. Make love, not war. I've talked about that before. I bought into that make love part in a heartbeat. But let me tell you what's under attack in this country that you and I can do something about. There's not a lot of this, quite honestly, that you and I can do anything about other than vote. When the time comes to vote in November, we can keep the right people in power that will do the right things. We can hopefully vote the ones out that are doing the wrong things. But here's something you can do irrespective of voting, irrespective of who the governor is or the mayor or the police commissioner or the president or the congressman or the senator or anybody. An institution that is under attack in America that I've noticed is the American family. That's right, the American family. And in studying, one of the things that Anarchy tries to break apart is the family, because the family is the one institution that holds the glue together, And so all I'm asking you to do is do everything you can to strengthen your own family. You know, in the Great Civil War that we studied, and I don't know if they study that in school now or not, but where the North and the South fought right here in the United States, the family was destroyed during that Civil War. You wouldn't believe we could ever have a war where the North fought against the South in the United States of America. Well, we did, and it could happen again. Not necessarily the North against the South, but it could happen again. The Anarchy people against the rest of us is what it'll amount down to. But brother fought against brother in that war. Father fought against his own son in the Civil War, because they were able, through the politics of the day, to tear apart the American families and have brother against brother. And that's what they're trying to do today. And what I'm saying that we need to do as grandfathers like I am, as fathers like I am, uncles, brothers, cousins, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, nieces, whatever, is we need to work really hard to keep our American family together. And I don't care if your family is like the Brady Bunch. I don't care if your family is like the Nelsons, Harry and Ozzie or whatever that was. So I don't care if your family is a perfect family that everybody, sits down to dinner and eats every evening. I don't care if your family is a dysfunctional family that you have lots and lots of problems, and every family's got problems. You need to try to hold that family together. Spend more time with your wife, your kids, your grandkids, your stepsons, your uncles, your aunts, people in your family, your cousins. Try to spend more time and hold that American family together. Hold that American family together, because they're trying to break it apart. And quite honestly, and I have family. My grandson is married to a teacher, and my granddaughter is getting ready to graduate from college this year, and she's going to become a teacher. But we have a huge segment of our educational system that is really, from the age of 4 years old on up, indoctrinating kids against their own family. I've seen kids, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old kids on television screaming, "I hate my parents. I hate my mom and dad. They don't want me out here protesting. They don't think that Black lives matter." Well, I don't know of anybody in the whole country hardly that doesn't think that every life matters, no matter what color it is, no matter whether it's a man or woman or can't figure out which it wants to be. Every life matters. And I've never read in the Bible where it said that white lives matter or black lives matter, Indian lives matter or Asian lives matter. Jesus just said that everybody mattered. Jesus died on that cross for all of us. And when God created this universe, the first thing he started was a family. Wasn't really an American family, but he started a family unit. And that family unit was pretty doggone dysfunctional if you think about it. I mean, there's about as dysfunctional as you come. But from that family unit, we've all come about. If you want to save America, if you want to do something great, if you want a cause to protest for, keep the family together. Keep your family together. Spend more time with your family. Tell them you love them more. Teach them the right things. Most people that come from other countries into the United States are appalled at the lack of disrespect that we have in the United States of America. The lack of respect that we have. The lack of respect that we have for each other, for our culture, for our political systems, for our elected officials, for our school teachers, for our moms, our dads, the less respect we have for each other. They are absolutely blown away how we can have a country this great and we don't have much respect. If you do nothing else in your family, teach your family members to respect respect each other, respect themselves, respect our government. Lots in our government that's really bad, really bad. Lots of really bad people up there. Some people said that the 10 or 15% that a presidential candidate said was bad people in this country might be a little low. I disagree with that unheartedly. I think that, you know, the bad people in this country is way less than 10 or 15%. That'd be 40 or 50 million people. But if you'll teach your kids respect, and if you'll give them respect, it goes both ways. If you'll do that, the American family will remain strong. The American family is what we have, and it's under attack by the anarchists that are trying to destroy this country. Make no bones about it. They are trying to destroy this country. We have a right to protest. That's what America's all about. But we do not have a right to destroy the America that we've built and that so many people have fought and died for. And hopefully we don't have to fight and die just to stay in our own house. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great week. Sorry I got so serious with you, and it's not quite an upbeat message, but it is, because by golly, you can make your family the greatest family on the block. You can make your family the greatest family in your town, the greatest family in your city, the greatest family in your state. But work on making your family tight-knit, tight-knit. Families are the key to keeping America, America. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great week. I love you.